At one point, he was on the verge of perhaps losing his position, losing all confidence in the United faithful, but a couple of big wins against the likes of Spurs and Manchester City in the picture. A very, very different one right now, Tim. Why is it that Ollie seems to be, one week he's the favourite to the next one to lose his job, and literally one game or a couple of games, Tim, all of a sudden we're all now seeing, wow, that looks good, that's working, that looks like a real dangerous team there that he's now got to grips with. How come the picture's changing so radically all the time?
I think managers are allowed to evolve and are allowed to develop, especially young ones like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and get used to their players, what they have. It's not only 2 wins, it was 2 wins against Tottenham and Man City.
Yeah.
2 massive football matches, and his young side played brilliantly well. You know, the threat what he's got on the counter-attack, the pace, dribbling skills, the likes of James, Greenwood against Tottenham and Rashford on the left-hand side there was fantastic. You know, they're picking the ball up, they're driving forward. I think McTominay's made a massive difference. The stature of him in the central of the midfield there, the energy, he's got no self-indulgence in him, Andy. He just plays totally for the side. Whatever he thinks is best for the side, he does.
Yeah.
He's come back from injury and he's hit the floor running. He's got great energy. He sits when he needs to sit. He's really complimented Fred, who all of a sudden looks like a footballer. We're all scratching our heads thinking, what does Fred do? McTominay has helped him out massively. I think he's found a centre-half partnership in Maguire and Lindelof, which he's going to settle on now if they stay fit. Shaw's come back to fitness. Young played there against Tottenham as well. So they're all getting game time. Wan-Bissaka, we know he's got pace and he's keeping him in a more withdrawn position and letting Daniel James come wide on the right-hand side there. 2 huge football matches which they deserve to win. And I think now Man United have a real identity. That only 2 games, we know that. We don't want to get carried away, but it's 2 huge games and a clear identity, as you're saying. If I scout, I said on here many, many times, if I had to scout for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I wouldn't know what he wants. I'd know now. I'd know the characteristics of the players he wants if this is the way he's going to move forward. Man United are a counter-attacking side, and I believe their fans are happy with that now. They're no longer going to control football matches, Andy. No longer going to keep the ball what they're going to do is win the ball back.
Teams in here,
win the ball back, get it forward to their front players and let them take off and let them run. And when they're running with the ball, they come up the field and they squeeze. McTominay's shifting them in there. Lingard's running without the ball into spaces. Rashford's like a real threat. Greenwood's playing up front there as well. And when Martial played against Man City, when Greenwood was up there against Tottenham, they had James, Greenwood, Rashford, average age, 20 years of age.
Yeah.
That's huge for the future of Manchester United Football Club.
And to back up your point, Tim, they only had 40% possession against Spurs at home and won the game. So is that...
And 28 against...
28, 30 against City, something like that. But is that difficult if you're Manchester United and when you start getting a bit of a run going and you start winning a few matches, all of a sudden your fans think you are going to boss games, you are going to boss the ball, or you should be doing all of those things. Whereas actually, I know you said like they're starting to realise and recognise that, listen, Manchester United is basically, these 4 guys up here can go and devastate any team, and that lot back there have just got to kind of try and hold the fort.
Normal circumstances, I would say, you go to Old Trafford and you have 28% possession or 40% less than the opposition, it's going to be a very hard sell to them fans at Manchester United, what they've been brought up with. Now, because of the way they've attacked and the exciting nature and scoring goals, I think they're going to swallow it. I think they're happy with that because normal circumstances, I would say, you go to Old Trafford and you have 28% possession or 40% less than the opposition, it's going to be a very hard sell to them fans at Manchester United, what they've been brought up with. Now, because of the way they've attacked and the exciting nature and scoring goals, I think they're going to swallow it. I think they're happy with that because this is developing and this is an identity of the side, and it's great to see, in my opinion. It's exciting to see edge of the seat stuff, because you know when the opposition got the ball, you're at your biggest threat if you're a Man United player.
This is the United's sort of setup when City in a familiar position with possession on the halfway line, threatening the ball, tight in midfield, and then when they turn the ball over like that one from Lindelof there, then all of a sudden, Tim, when these guys, again, so it's like those boys back there have been tight, they're closing down, they've won their challenge on the edge of the box, they've then released Jesse Lingard, and now come alive, guys, now be ready to really go for it.
That pass from Lindelof cannot be underestimated.
How good it was.
And the take from Jesse Lingard. But now the information is Don't play back here now. Play forward.
Yeah.
If you can pass forward, can you run? Can you dribble? Can you face people up? Look at Marcus running forward again here now. Look, look Rashford just bombing forward.
Now the midfield boys catching up. Great shot, good save. Again here, Tim. Everybody back, sort of pretty much defending quite hard, but it's again from this position, it's being able to counter very quickly. Yeah. It doesn't even look like there's a counter attack on in any way, shape, or form here.
No, they're all in preparation. Look at Daniel James there.
Yeah.
Where would we have normally seen him, Andy? I think we would normally see him back there.
I would be shoulder to shoulder with Sterling.
Okay.
With Angelino.
He's not prepared to do that because he's in a little sneak position here. He's telling Wan-Bissaka, that's your man.
Yeah.
That's your man there. Let Maguire deal with him.
Yeah.
And then see what materialises. When it breaks down is the key. When it breaks down, that first pass, they get lucky with that one.
Yeah.
But look at Daniel James now.
Yeah.
The one we highlighted. No, he'd be back here, wouldn't he? Ordinarily.
Yeah. Got nowhere to go, and the ball comes straight back. City are on top here.
Forward pass. Running forward.
Yeah.
Mayhem. Pace, power, hate playing against it.
Yeah.
People who could dribble, hated it.
Again here, Tim.
Look at this pass. Pass. One touch. We talked about that earlier, breaking with one touch. This is no self-indulgence. This is doing what's right for the side here.
Front three again, Tim. Look at these boys up here. I mean, whether they've actually, because that was a fast break from City, that was immediately, the ball was turned over. Whether they've even had a chance to get back, but you think they're actually programmed, stay up there.
Yeah, Angelino, here, look.
Yeah.
I mean, alarm bells. Straight away. I mean, he can't deal 1v1 with people.
No.
I mean, he's got an overload on that far side there.
Yes. Great ball again.
He can't deal with it.
Great
now
ball.
he knows he's got a problem. He's got that one inside him, no one gets to him, and he's hitting shots. Outstanding. And sorry, Andy, we
go back on that.
Go back on that just a little bit. I think this is key when they're having shots. Keys now. Here, locked on. Who's going to win that next ball coming out?
Yeah.
Who's winning that next ball?
Yeah, and here.
They're in contention to win that ball.
Yeah, very true. Very true. In a good position, aren't they? Ready to maybe get on top of that. In the end, it's a ball that's hacked away. Again, getting back quite thick, Tim. Quite good set, quite solid in here.
And what they want them to do, see, they're almost look how narrow they are. What do they want Man City to do? They want them to try and force the ball in here through. Can you force it? Can you force the ball in here?
Yeah. Angelino's position here, Tim. Usually, if that's Mendy, we know that he's probably up here.
Yeah.
There's an easier pass maybe for one of the City boys there. But again,
the first pass, Andy, after when they win the ball here. I mean, they break it up. He wins it from the front, and it's the first pass and what you can find. Where can you see your furthest man? Where's your man? There he is. Sneak position, Jesse Lingard. Take off of it, Jesse. Now you've got a problem.
Yeah.
And it's just the speed of how they break. And watch them all breaking. Watch them now breaking. Look, and there's the penalty.
Yeah.
But they're all locked on. All locked on. All in good positions.
Yep. They certainly are. They're a lot better. So much better, so much more confident all round. And I think confident with their own shape.
Yeah.
But again, as you say, that ability to turn the ball over there. Good interception from Lindelof.
One touch. McTominay. Forward pass. Can you see it? Can you run with it? Don't have to pass between lines. Sometimes you can take it through lines when you've got pace and power and the dribbling skills. Marcus is so unlucky there. Fantastic. But all locked on again for the next one coming out.
Goalkeeper this time picking the ball up, immediately looking forward very quickly. Takes the kick.
When do you ever see him do this?
No.
We hardly ever see the guy do this. He normally keeps his foot on the ball, rolls the ball out to the side. He knew it can hurt him. It's a definite game plan from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We have to give him a lot of credit for it because it's worked on 2 occasions, both the Tottenham game and this huge derby against Man City. And that was the guy.
Martial, good finish.
And they're all locked on.
Yeah.
You know how locked on they are because they all get up to celebrate within 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's very true.
They're stretched. Look, this is your worst nightmare if you're Man City and Pep Guardiola or any manager coming up against them. I mean, he must have watched these clips, Freddie Ljungberg, preparing for this game at the weekend. This will scare him to death.
Yeah.
It would scare me to death.
Yeah.
You know, how do you prepare against this sort of pace? Yeah. What you have to do is try and stop it at source in the opposition half. But when they're up the field, what do? It's who blinks first. Do you let your fullbacks go on and try and entice Daniel James back or Marcus Rashford, or do you just get numbers behind the ball? We've seen Arsenal with numbers behind the ball. They can't defend when they've got the whole team behind the ball.
No.
It's going to cause a massive problem.
Just on United, Tim, because we've put a certain Paul Pogba on the bench, not because he was on the bench in the last game, but we put him there because, bearing in mind what you've just said about James, Martial, Rashford and Lingard's threat, pace and sheer endeavour, mixed with McTominay's, as you said, selflessness in the middle of the park, Fred has got better. So if we're assuming this guy's going to come back, and I think he's one of United's best players, where's he go?
Well, the only place he can go is in there.
And so who comes out?
In there as a 10.
Take that one out. Take Lingard out. That's it.
Take Lingard out.
Take him out. That's it.
I think,
oh, wrong one.
I think the only place he can go is as a 10.
There.
Because
Yeah,
if he's not going to give what Ollie needs as a team player, I think you've got to leave him out entirely. I think you cannot change the dynamics of this at the moment. You imagine if he left Fred out in a minute. I mean, he hasn't played well the time he's been there. Now he's starting to perform like he can. So now is the wrong time to leave him out of the squad. I think you're right. Paul Pogba is one of the top players in the Premier League, and he's certainly one of the best players Man United got. He's got that swagger about him to play for Manchester United, but I think he's a good 10. I think he can burst in the box.
Can he do the counter-attacking stuff that we've seen Lingard doing, that carrying, running with the ball across the ground, Tim? Can he do that?
I think he can.
Will he do that?
I think he can. The only danger is he willing to do this bit, you know, like Jesse is, to do a shift when he needs to. And that's out of possession. Needs to do that shift and put the workload in. It's all right going this way. We know he is. We saw him in the derby, I think it was last season or the season before, when he scores a couple of goals. When he's running towards the opposition goal, he's happy to do that because he's going to be he's a headline maker.
Yeah.
It's when you're going to do the selfless stuff, coming in here alongside McTominay and Fred, when you need to thicken up your midfield and get across. That is the question mark. But if you don't want to do it, leave him out. Yeah. Get rid of him.
Very interesting. I'm really intrigued now, Tim, just as they've hit this little patch, Manchester United, how they're going to utilise, if they're going to utilise. I mean, look, Ollie doesn't have to rush him back in the team. He hasn't got to shoehorn him back into the team, not at all. But I'm fascinated to see whether it will be there, Tim, eventually gets playing, or whether indeed it's in that one alongside Fred.
Well, if it's there, he slows the game down too much. I think he wants too many touches. He wants to show everyone what a good player he is. He slows it up. And then you're going to miss the opportunity to slide the balls to these guys who are going to take you up the field. You know, they need early possession. They're going to be the assisters. You need someone who's going to assist the assister, you know, as quickly as possible, because opposition teams will funnel around. They'll get the whole team behind the ball if he's having too many touches in this area. I believe he's a 10. I think that's his best position. I think he'll relish that, but he's also got to realise when he needs to do that.
Yeah. We'll focus on Everton and Duncan Ferguson for the final part of the show. Duncan Ferguson's a guy that Tim and I have played against, and we've probably come off second best with Big Duncan many times over the years, but I think we all recognise, Tim, how loyal a servant he's been to that club, how much he loves Everton, etc., etc. Is that the right reason to give him the job?
For the short term, yes. I think he gives them breathing space. It's been so long now since this crowd here at Goodison Park. We've played there, Andy. We know what they demand. It's not the most expansive football, not the most technical game. It's up and at 'em, fast and furious. If you haven't got a cut, you haven't played well. You know, it's about power, it's about sweat, it's about rolling your sleeves up and workmanlike and do the job and have responsibility and play for that shirt. And I think Duncan knows more than all of us
what that's
about.
Yeah.
And it showed in his first game. What an impact he had. Yeah. Just a turnaround from a tippy-tappy side, creating all the possession, then give it to them now. So it gives them, like Brendan Rodgers did at Leicester, went in for half the season, had a look at the squad, assessed what he needed, spoke to the recruitment guys, added a few to it, and he benefited from looking at back half of last season. And now we've seen what he's actually producing. If they can't find the right man for the long term now, give it to Duncan Ferguson. What's the point of bringing in a Sam Allardyce type or Moyes type, just for the short term, till the end of the season. They keep you in the league. You give them a massive bonus financially. Not worth it. This guy will keep you up anyway. They are not getting relegated.
No, the squad's too good and there's too much quality in there anyway.
Yeah, and he's driving them now. He can manage them. He's a strong character. We know what he's like. He's going to get them at it. They're going to be, they might not go to Old Trafford and win. They might not go to the Etihad and win at the big teams. But playing at home, like they did against Chelsea, they'll beat the mid-table and the poor sides, which will keep them in the league.
Great stuff, Tim. Really enjoyed that, pal, today. Thank you very much. That's flown past that hour. Thank you.